So, hi friends, we are back again and today we are going to do a very important topic, which is listening skills. We have two lectures actually today, 13 and 14, and the first one is here for you, listening skills introduction. So, let us have a brief glance at what we will be discussing today with you. We will be trying to integrate listening and communication and the important links between them, and we will develop further on feedback, which is a prerequisite for effective listening. If you go back to your initial lectures, there is this term mentioned, feedback, in the communication loop, and it is in that stage where listening is involved. Number 3, in fact, we are going to do more than listening. We are going to think of listening as, we are going to imagine listening as critical thinking. And initially what I would like to say to you now is that listening is not simply hearing with the ears, but it is critical thinking, more when we move forward. Fourth, we will examine the influence of technology on listening and thinking. Fifth, there will be a program or a suggestion how you can increase your ear power and be a better listener, and we will conclude with a summary of what we have in fact covered. So, at the outset I would like to present to you the Chinese character for listening, and if you examine this, at least for those of us who know Chinese, the idea is that you have here the symbol for the ear, the Chinese character for the ear. You have here the symbol for the eyes, and you have here the symbol for the heart. And this is the most important point, undivided attention. The Chinese character for listening therefore says that listening involves all the three, not simply the ear, but the ear along with the eyes, that is what you are seeing, and heart, that is what you are feeling or undergoing, what are your emotions at the time of listening. And undivided attention between these three, first is ear, second eye, and third heart. This is the Chinese character for listening. So, in fact, you remember the Chinese game we have played in the lab class on listening, the Chinese game of the Chinese whisper. The idea is that you can be a better listener if you give undivided attention, if your entire focus is on three elements, the ear, the eyes, and the heart. So, let us communicate and think about listening and communication. In fact, if you think about the 4 communication skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing, listening is that which affects all kinds of communication, the rest of the 3. It has been called the mother of speaking. It is so important that speaking begins with listening, and if you have listened carefully, you will also be a good speaker, and in a chain like reaction, you will be a better reader and writer as well. Now, let us come to the ethics of listening. The idea of becoming a good listener will spring from the following 5 points. If you are ethically committed to becoming a good listener, if you want, seriously speaking, honestly speaking, to be a good listener, there would be these questions you would need to consider. Are you a responsive, other than a responsible listener? Number 2, do you have patience? Are you prepared to listen, or do you jump in, butt in, interrupt, disrupt? No patience at all. Number 3, as far as you have been listening, how sincere and conscientious have you been? Number 4, what is your role in ensuring the integrity of a message? Because as we have seen in the game of the Chinese whisper, what happens is that the message tapers down, the message becomes less in value. So, what is your role in ensuring the integrity, the originality of the message which was meant for you to listen? Number 5, Are you ready to collaborate with the speaker? Because you see, this listening is not one part or one sided activity. Listening and speaking complement each other, they make a whole, and therefore the idea that you have to collaborate with the speaker if you are interested, if you are ethically committed to become a good listener. So, let us first of all think about what I had made a slight mention of just few minutes ago, that there is a difference between listening and hearing. I had said that hearing is simply using your ears, but listening is a vaster, deeper and a more important, more complicated process. The first definition is that of hearing, and it is involuntary. You see, you do not have to put some ear plugs and say that I will voluntarily not listen, you will still listen. You can reduce the amount of the sounds which go to your ear, but you cannot stop listening. Number two, hearing is a physiological process by which we process sound. Physiological because these two ears belong to your human physiology or your physiognomy, and the body or this organism, the human being, the Homo sapiens sapiens, uses hearing, or hearing is this physiological process by which you are processing the sound symbols which are entering your ears. On the other hand, if you look at the definition of listening, listening is deliberate. It involves willpower, commitment and your ethical interest in the matter what you are about to listen to. It is a deliberate psychological process. So, you see the difference, first is involuntary, but listening is deliberate. The first one is physiological and this is psychological. So, it depends on what you have in your mind and how you are using your mental processes to be a good listener. In other words, let us once again define listening is a deliberate psychological process by which we receive, understand and lastly retain, that is remember the oral stimuli. The oral stimuli are simply the sound or the sound symbols which are entering your ears. So, that being made clear that there is a difference between listening and hearing, and not a superficial difference. It is quite important to remember the difference, because it will form the basis of your understanding and interaction with others based on how you know now that there is a difference between listening and hearing. Now, what are the types of listening we have been acknowledged to be using? The first is appreciative listening, or it is that which is used for pleasure and relaxation. Imagine a farmer, he is ploughing the field and he has the radio on his temporary charpai or bed under the tree, where his food and water is also there, and maybe a dog is also waiting there, and he switches on Vividh Bharati or All India Radio or Akashvani, and that while he is ploughing the field and doing his other farmer related agricultural chores and activities, he is listening to music. Number two is comprehensive, the purpose being to gain knowledge. This is the kind of listening you do as students when you listen to a lecture to gain knowledge, your purpose being to gain knowledge and to understand the concepts or whatever is being taught in the class. The third is critical listening. This is that it is, let us say specifically, if you can give an example, it is that which is done by a judge or a lawyer. So, they indulge in critical thinking, in special type of critical thinking, because they are in such a grave, serious, chair, seat, power of authority, that they have to determine the accuracy of what they hear, because their judgment will decide the fate or the career of one or the other of the two parties involved in the court case. And the fourth is emphatic listening. Emphatic listening is, suppose you go to somebody's house where there has been a demise or a recent death, and of course, the other who has been the loser who has lost somebody near and dear to him or her, will be sharing many thoughts, many words, many episodes, instances, how in fact the demise was untimely, unexpected, and how good the person who died was. So, you have to do emphatic listening at that point of time, because your attempt is to understand the feelings of your friend, and so that you can be in a better position to console him or her. Emphatic comes from empathy. So, then let us come to what are the stages of listening, because as we said, it is not simply using your two ears, it is more than what meets the ears and not the eyes. And here we have for you, we have to present you the Hurrier model, H-U-R-I-E-R. Now, this is simply a mnemonic, and it is meant to make you understand the various stages of listening, which are 6 in number. Number 1, hearing, that is simply using the ears, and the sound symbols enter your ears, because the ears have been physiologically or biologically being made such by the creator that maximum of the sound can enter and minimum of the sound can escape from out of the ear. If you remember, as students of science at +2 and +10 level basic biology, you remember the cross section of the ear, and you see that it is a tubular structure, it is a tunnel like structure, but at the end, which is this gap or this crevice or this hole, it is very narrow, but as we go inside it becomes more narrower, and it reaches a point which is most important for the sense of hearing. So, number 2, the second stage is understanding. So, basically the sound symbols are made meanings of, and your brain processes the information to understand what you have heard. Number 3 is remembering, because you have to remember, because you have to move further. Why you have to remember? Because you have to listen to more information and then process or move further. Number 4 is interpreting. So, you have heard, let us say half an hour, or let us say you have heard for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, somebody has said something, a big dialogue, and you have to make proper meaning of it as per your individual personality or your situation. Number 5 is evaluating. Evaluating means in the sense of bringing the value out of, what is the sense, what did the other try to tell me, what meaning should I apply to the words which I have heard, and how to move forward. The way forward is number 6, responding. Then after that 5 stages, after these 5 stages, you in fact respond or you speak. So, listening and the Hurrier model, that is the 6 stages of listening: hearing, understanding, remembering, interpreting, evaluating and responding. Now, what happens is this lecture or this topic on listening skills is because we have generally amongst us, me included, those who practice unlistening. So, let the ears be here, but we are not following the rest 5 processes of the Hurrier model, because we are not committed to listening well, and it is unethical behavior of ineffective listeners that we try to be in these 7 ways. We try to in fact fake listening. We act as if we are listening, but actually we are not listening. The first example is that of fraudulent listeners, those who pretend to be listening. Number 2 is that of the monopolistic listeners, those who monopolize the conversation, they do not listen to the other. Number 3 is competitors, those who are in the, sometimes like the situation you see in a court scene, there are 2 lawyers for the 2 sides or the 2 parties, and they are competing with each other, because each of them is trying to save or to protect or to save from punishment his or her client. So, competitors are those kind of listeners who have several competing information in their minds, and therefore they unlisten. Number 4 is selective listeners. This is an instance of one of the lab activities which we have done or we will be doing, that on listening skills, where suppose you imagine yourself at a railway station or at the airport and you are about to board a train or a flight. So, there will be so many announcements, let us forget the fact that nowadays some of the airports are soundless airports, or they are called noise proof airports, and you just have big displays and all the incoming and the arrivals and the departure are just being listed and going up and down again and again at various places in all the segments of the vast airport. The point is now, at least in those airports and railway stations where still announcements continue to be made about arrivals and departures, you as a passenger will be in fact listening only for your train number or your flight number. You will not be listening to other. As soon as you listen to the arrival departure time of your train number or your flight number, you will then stop listening. So, you have been a selective listener in this instance. Then you have the fifth one, which is the avoiders. These are some people who may need counseling. In fact, these are those who avoid listening. So, they are mentally withdrawn. So, psychologically also they have shut their doors, their mental doors, and they would not listen. Number 6 is defensive listeners. Defensive listeners are those who are making mental notes. They may even be writing it down in a notepad or whatever. So, they are making notes because they have to use these points to defend themselves. And the last is attackers. This is the extreme and the worst kind of listeners. As the term is self-explanatory, I will not go further. Attackers are those unlisteners. Attackers are those negative listeners who are listening because their only purpose is to launch an attack on the one whom they have been listening to so far. So, to come back further to that important concept of feedback. Feedback is a prerequisite for effective listening, because if you have effectively, ethically, properly listened, you can give back proper response. The simple term for feedback to the speaker from whom you have heard something. So, what is feedback? And feedback has been defined as information returned to the message source or the communicator. If you go back to the initial lecture on the introduction to communication, remember that you have the communicator and the communicatee. The communicator says something and the communicator listens to that, and then the listener has to send feedback or response. So, this is what we are talking about. What are the kinds of feedback which we have in common day practice and in common day reality and in situations where we are in fact indulging in listening and speaking? And I will just show you some of them. First of all, we have primarily speaking two types of feedback. One is evaluative and the second is non-evaluative. So, if we go to the first one, evaluative feedback, we also divide it into two further types: positive feedback, negative feedback, and the third one is a subsection of, it lies between 1 and 2, it is the formative feedback. So, let us move further to evaluative feedback. So, let us come back to evaluative feedback. Now, evaluative feedback, as you understand the term, is feedback which gives value, which evaluates the content qualitatively and quantitatively of what has been listened to. Evaluative feedback is of two types: positive and negative. So, let us define first of all positive evaluative feedback. It is that kind of response which makes the communication and its resulting behaviors moving in the direction they are already heading. So, if two people are discussing and they seem to be coming to a conclusion or a common meeting point, positive evaluative feedback is in action, that is in place. Number 2 is negative evaluative feedback. It is the reverse of positive evaluative feedback. As you very well understand, This is that feedback defined as, it serves a corrective function because it extinguishes undesirable communicative behavior. So, in the previous case, the people, the conversants, the conversationist, the speaker and the listener, they come to a common meeting point. In this one, there is none of this happening. And the third here on this slide we have is formative feedback. Formative feedback, let us say a class session is on and it is a tutorial class. In tutorial class you have smaller number of students, and so in between the student and the teacher, if there is a discussion going on, from time to time the teacher can give feedback so that the students' opinions are formed and the student is able to take back from this particular tutorial section, tutorial session, tutorial hour or class, he or she is able to get back much from this particular lecture, because the teacher has been working on formative feedback. Again we define it as timed negative feedback. So, timed negative feedback, I repeat. Then let us come to non-evaluative feedback. Now, non-evaluative feedback is not designed or it is not aimed or moving towards an idea of evaluation. The first of these is called probing, and it is a technique which we employ to seek additional information. There is sometimes a situation where you may want for more examples, more data, more statistics, and this is called probing. Number 2 is understanding, which you are not trying to make the other angry or you are not testing his or her intellect or knowledge, but it is when you paraphrase the other. Somebody describes or says something and you paraphrase the whole thing, you repeat the entire information in your own words, because you would like to check whether you have actually understood. You would like to check your comprehension. Comprehension means understanding. So, this is non-evaluative feedback type number 2. And the third is supportive feedback. As in the previous case we had the idea of formative feedback, supportive feedback is non-evaluative response indicating that the receiver perceives a problem as important. So, when supportive feedback is given, then the conversation can move further, and then the speaker or the initial communicator can perceive, can understand that his or her conversation or the crux of the matter was important. We move further. Now, how do we give non-directive feedback? By non-directive feedback, I mean that we are not trying to direct, or we are not trying to confront, or we are not trying to target the other in this kind of feedback. It is still non-evaluative feedback. For this we give two kinds of messages. Message, please remember and recall that in the initial class on communication and introduction we had said that message is the content value of the communicative act. Between the communicator and the communicative, what has to become common is the message. So, there are two types of messages when we talk about non-directive feedback. The first is the I message. As you understand, it is about the feelings, about the nature of a situation, non-evaluative response that conveys our feelings. So, it is in your words, it is your feelings about the nature or the dimensions or the matter of the situation. On the other hand, we have number 2 here on this slide, which is you message, the response or the kind of feedback you give that places blame on the other person. So, if it places blame or it insinuates or it makes some kind of allegations, then it is like pointing the finger at you, the other. So, there is a need finally to consider the effects of feedback, and when we are trying to develop our communication skills, the idea is that we will think about this at greater depth and length and breadth. Now, what is your role as a critical thinker? Your role, your responsibility as a critical thinker is to assess, evaluate, judge the truth of whatever you are listening to, the credibility, the purity, the reliability of whatever you are listening to. If you can do that, you are in a sense performing the role of a critical thinker or a good listener. So, critical thinking, we define it as careful and deliberate process of message evaluation. Careful. So, you have to be careful of what meaning you are assigning to the words which you have got through the auditory symbols, and slow and steady, deliberate, you move stage wise and you think about the value of the message. So, there is a need now to think about what critical thinkers actually think, what do they do during the process of critical thinking. So, if we have critical thinkers, therefore, we have uncritical thinkers or what are called bad listeners. And what questions should you consider to facilitate it or to develop the art of critical thinking? Let us come to the way in which technology has influenced listening and thinking practices among us. Actually, in fact, the amount of media and digital influx in our everyday communication scenarios is actually adding wrinkles to technology, and also the way in which we are thinking and listening. And therefore, you have some of these students or some of these young people or some of these gay people or some of these people who do not care much about the others. They will just be putting a Walkman or a speaker or a headphone, and they will be going around irrespective of whether they are in the midst of traffic or midst of people or midst of work or midst of something important going on. So, they are simply lost in their own headspace of listening to sounds and so on and so forth. So, this idea of the headphone and the speaker phone and the idea of the speakers and the head devices is actually making us more selective, and we are more willing to listen to and we are more unwilling to not listen to whatever we decide. So, what about gender and listening? How do the male and the female differ in their listening and critical thinking activities? Generally, this is what research has proved, that women, when they listen, they rely more, they depend more on feelings and intuitions. On the other hand, men are comprehensive listeners. They look at the vastness and the maximum amount of information they would like to gather rather than women. Women would like to go deep and be sensitive and emotional while listening. Then think about the parameter of culture, and across culture, how do people behave when they are listening or critically thinking. If you think about the two main cultures, Western cultures are less open and they are tentative in their listening behavior. So, they would question, they would deliberate, they would be tentative, they would not be very confirmed and firm about what they have heard. On the other hand, you have the Eastern cultures, and Eastern cultures like Indian people or our side of the world, we would practice more speculative, we would be creative, we would start thinking this, that and the other, we would start adding lot of information, and metaphoric thinking, we would be very creative, we would be thinking in terms of metaphors and symbols and similes, we would try to compare and contrast, and we would therefore be, in a sense, maybe bad listeners. Now, let us look at what research has suggested regarding the influx of media and technology on listening and thinking, research has suggested, this is quite a serious matter, recent research has suggested that children are at risk for developing ADD, attention deficit disorder, problems compared to children who watch less TV. So, this idea of watching TV as a pastime, this has to be thought about, this has to be seriously considered now. How do you have a program by which you can become an effective listener? The first is to focus your attention. When you focus your attention, you would look for two types of words, and these kind of words are called red flag words. Why we call them red flag words are because they are defined as words which trigger an emotional reaction and drop listening efficiency to 0. Let us say you confront or you come face to face, or you have been friends with, let us say 3 different scenarios, to African American, and you call him nigger. Now, this is constitutionally and by law banned, but this is a red flag word for the African American who has been your friend, and it will trigger an emotional reaction in him or her, so that he or she will not listen to you anymore, because he or she has been hurt to the core. On the other hand, on this side, we have also another definition and the important concept to be mentioned, speech thought differential. This is the difference between the number of words you can speak and number 2, the number of words you can think critically about in a minute. Let us say research says that a native speaker of English can speak 500 words per minute. Let us say, it is an example, and you can think or critically analyze these heard words at the rate of, let us say, 100 words per minute. So, this difference of 400 words is the difference between thinking and speaking rate. So, the thinking rate will always be higher, and this difference creates problem in communication. The second point after focusing your attention on the speaker is to set appropriate goals for yourself, in the sense that you decide how ethical and how good a listener will you be and act upon that. And the third point on this slide is to understand the idea. Do not go into the nitty gritties and do not go along the margins, but think about the main idea, what is being communicated to you. Number 4, listen to retain information. So, increase your memory power, increase your retention power by repeating what you have heard, by paraphrasing, which is to restate in your own words what the other person has said, and number 3, by visualization, that is making a mental picture of the experience you have heard or undergone. Number 5 is to listen to analyze and evaluate content. Very simple to understand. Good listeners, or those who aspire to be good listeners, think about the content and they analyze it, because they want quality out of that content. Number last here is to be emphatic and to be an active listener. We move further to another concept which I would like to share with you, which is called dialogic listening. Dialogic listening. This has been defined as an awareness of what happens between people as they respond to each other. Respond meaning dialogues are being shared. As you have dialogue, two people in a logos or a discussion or conversation with each other. So, what is actually happening between them is defined as dialogic listening, because both are in fact in different points of time responding to each other. Let us summarize what we have read. First of all, we have learnt that listening is a deliberate process, it is not involuntary. It is a deliberate process by which we seek to understand and retain keep with us the oral stimuli which has entered through the ears. Number 2, the average person, this is again research and it is suggestions or propositions. The average person listens at only 45% efficiency, which means we still have long way to go and we can work on a program to increase our listening skills. Number 3, understanding and using the listening level energy involvement scale can help us develop more effective listening skills. In other words, how much of your internal energy, how much are you actually involved in the listening process can help you become a better listener. And the fourth one here is that you must give proper feedback to prove that you have been an effective listener. Feedback, what does it consist of? Feedback consists of all the verbal and non-verbal messages that a person consciously or unconsciously sends out in response to the communicator's communication. We have also covered how to improve our listening skills by learning to focus attention and by setting appropriate goals for ourselves as we strive in our effort to become good listeners. The next point which we have covered today in this lecture is to understand the paradigms of culture, gender, technology and how these three concepts influence listening skills, so that understanding of these three will help us make better our ability to develop good listening practices. These are few of the references which I have used for the preparation of this lecture, and thank you so much for being with me. We shall meet soon. Just now.